also helps us to comfort one another, to mourn in a healthy way. I'm sure that as people share tributes, there will be some tears. Or as we read a poem, or as we see a slideshow, or whatever, there will be tears. This is good. I'm sure there will be some laughter as well, which is also healthy. It's important for us to process our loss, to bring that closure that we all need. So, cry, laugh, hopefully you have tissue. But thirdly, as well as honoring her life and helping each other grieve, we need to reflect on our own lives. So often at a time like this, we reflect on our own lives and we say, well, what am I doing with my life? Joan did so much. She meant so much. What does my life mean to other people? What contributions have I made in my life? And Joan sets a great example for us as to how we can live our lives well. How we can be a great wife, a great mother, a great co-worker, a great volunteer. And so as we begin today, I just want to encourage you to engage in this process. And Dave's going to begin with calling people up for tributes. So give them your full attention. We all know it's warm on here. I can feel the sweat on my lip. I don't think it would be disrespectful if you felt the need to take off a jacket or a sweater. I think we'd rather you do that than pass out. So we're just going to begin now. I'm going to turn it over to Dave.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Joan was born on March 6, 1929 in Fleur-de-Lis, Pangham, South Wales, in the UK. She met my dad in 1950, and it was love at first sight. Actually, sorry, they met 3 years before that. They were married in 1950 and stayed married, as many of you know, for 64 years. So is that ever commitment? And is that ever love? I should say as well. They emigrated to Canada in January 1957, where they lived in Toronto for 7 years. I came along in 1962 and I said, I really hate this weather, so let's get out of here. And they came to British Columbia. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom. Karen was born in 1965 in Vancouver, my sister here. And Mom and Dad, we all settled in Richmond, June 1966. As many of you know here, Mom spent 18 years and 11 months was there in Canada. She worked at some other places. She had worked at Snackery Foods. She had worked at the Richmond Inn. And the majority of the bulk of her last working years, as I said, was at Air Canada. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed in January with lung cancer and put up a short battle. And we were with her. Michael was with her. Karen was with her. Dad and I were with her when she passed July 13th, 2 weeks ago. As Pastor Mark said, you all know that she was involved with very many community groups. The Greencoats that are here, I'd like to thank you. The commanding officer of 692 Air Cadets, I'd like to thank you. I almost fell over when I pulled up into Dad's driveway this morning, and Dad was greeted by this bouquet from the Air Cadet Squadron. It was really amazing this morning. We've asked a few people to do some tributes to Mom today, because she was involved, as we said, with numerous organizations. She was involved with the Ladies Oriental Shrine of North America. She was involved with Interline Club, which is an airline social club. She was involved with Original Air Canada. She was also involved with the Pioneers Club. And this time, if I could ask Janet Tricarico if she could come up and say a few words on behalf of the Pioneers and maybe on behalf of Air Canada.
Well, for those who didn't hear or don't know me, my name is Janet Tricarico, and I have the great joy of knowing Joan for 40 years. Our lives crossed many, many times over those years, and with so many wonderful memories. I first met Joan Air Canada in 1974, when we worked with the company together for so many years. She worked in administration and employee services in various positions, and she was a very, very smart lady and extremely conscientious worker, always busy, always cheerful, and very, very much respected for her knowledge by all her colleagues and peers. She was really a delight to be around, a kind, giving person with a big heart. And I remember in the early days when she was issuing our travel passes, always ready to give advice and a helping hand because we all filled out the wrong forms. During those Air Canada days, I can't even recall how many of their events and parties we participated in together. It was quite a few. So many memories. And we also shared that both our husbands were named Thomas. When Joan, after many years of service, retired from Air Canada in 1993, she joined the Air Canada Pioneers that same year and became part of the Vancouver Executive Board as treasurer. And our lives touched once again when I joined the board in 2001. And I remember how very meticulous she was, and therefore a fantastic treasurer that kept us on our toes. For 13 years, she volunteered numerous of hours of her retired life to that organization before she finally retired from the board. We saw each other during those many business meetings and later often at the monthly social coffee meetings in Richmond. Her and Tom also attended many of our summer picnics where we had such a wonderful time each year. And not to forget our Christmas parties. They were always there. In 2006, we further continued our friendship as she became a member of our OAC, Original Air Canada Club, where we shared memories from the good old days with our old Air Canada colleagues and had so many laughs along the way from the good old stories that were shared during our potluck luncheons and our yearly barbecues. And many new memories were created that will forever remain. But apart from her involvement in the airline industry, she also often talked about her time volunteering for so many other organizations. She was a member of the Ladies Oriental Shrine of North America, where she earned the great honor of being chosen as a Grand High Priestess in 1972. And she spent numerous hours raising funds for the annual Variety Telephone Club. She was also past Vice President of the 692nd Squadron Air Cadets Sponsoring Committee and past President of the Vancouver Interline Club that led her to travel to many parts of the world to represent Vancouver members. Sure was a busy lady. And she was special. She was also, I remember and will always recall, so well groomed and nicely dressed. She lived a full and happy life with her husband, whom she'd known for 67 years, and he was by her side and gave her support. She often said to me, Tom, what would I do without Tom? Well, I think that Tom also had her strong support when he was ill and recuperating. Those two were best friends. They were just like a unit. She loved her family. Here, her 2 children, Karen and David, and her 4 grandchildren, Michael, Levy, Blake, and Tiana. And abroad, her 2 loving sisters, Gladys, who lives in Australia, and Sandra in South Wales, both unfortunately with not be here today. And she also had time to share her life with her many personal friends and colleagues from Air Canada, the OAC Club, and the Air Canada Pioneers. In 2009, at our 25th anniversary party, Tom and Joan were there to celebrate with us. And in 2010, we were there to celebrate their 60th anniversary. And as she had a great love for dancing, we know that whenever the music came on, it was clearly seen at that party. Hugh and Tom was on the floor. We couldn't get them off. And I am so grateful for those special, wonderful memories. The last time I saw Joan in person was at our OAC meeting this February, where she and Tom attended, and where she in confidence told me that her cancer was back and it was very aggressive. Since then, we kept in touch via email with many updates and many personal notes. And as always, she expressed a positive attitude about it all. One of her longtime friends, Bill, told me the other day that on Joan and Tom's 64th anniversary, here this April, she asked Joan, "So what did Tom give you for an anniversary present?" And Joan answered, $64. So Lil and her went getting. Miracle of friendship is a precious gift. We have come to learn the valuable lesson that friendship is the most important thing next to family. Many people will walk in and out of our lives, but only true friends will leave footprints in our hearts. And Joan, you have left your footprints, and you will never be forgotten. A friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find but lovely to have and behold. And we are so happy that you have and always will be part of our life. We shall never forget your warm smile, your funny and your quick remarks, the gleam in your eyes, many good times and laughs we shared over the many years. Joan was a special human being. As I mentioned before, always positive. She truly was an inspiration, and we loved her, and we'll miss her dearly. And there will now be a huge void of her no longer being part of our Canada family, the Pioneers, and the OAC Club. Thank you, Joan, for the many wonderful memories. We shall think of you with a smile, as you brought so many happy times into our lives. Though here today, on behalf of all your friends and colleagues, we all deeply share our grief with the entire family. Our sincere condolences to all of you in your loss of such a wonderful woman, wife, mother, mother-in-law, sister, sister-in-law, and grandmother, and a valued friend. Goodbye, Joan. Yet not goodbye. Till we meet again. You were such a dear friend. Thomas and I shall miss you so very much. On behalf of all your many friends and colleagues, just know that though you will no longer be there in person, you will always be with us in our hearts. Because in your circle of friends, you will fondly be remembered, as not only fun but loving memories cling to your name. Those who loved you in life sincerely still loves you in death just the same.
I gotta tell everybody a little secret, because my sister told me this. She may be younger, but she told me this when we were at the hospice. Flick your ear,